Hey guys, we are back here for another video. Be patient with my internet, honey, because I'm traveling and it is really, really bad. I am at a Airbnb and I did not know cheap internet existed to the point where you try to upload something and it tell you got 2 hours. So I am so furious. I'm like, I could have just stayed in a hotel. Like I let my family talk me into doing this Airbnb stuff, which I will never ever do again because I am a hotel girl. I like amenities. I like room service. I don't got time for this. But anywho, y'all, we got some information on Dr. Heavenly Son. And as a parent, I don't want nobody's child to be in jail. Actually, yesterday, out here on the beach, I witnessed the police arresting some of us, and I had to go over there like, what's going on? I just don't like it. Just because the kids was by themselves. I don't know why people send their kids to a vacation destination for spring break and don't go. See, I'm here with mine, like, what y'all doing? Which is my son, because my other two are actually grown. But y'all, we got to jump into this because, like I said, it is not good information. But like I said, because I started, I'm going to give y'all the most.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
And like I said, guys, my setup is a little crazy here. So we're going to make it do what it do. So I'm going to read it from my phone because it's a little bit easier. I do have the documents here, which I will show y'all in a moment. Like, let's see here. Like this one right here. These are the documents that I will show you all. But like I said, I'm going to read it from my phone because the setup here is a little different. I'm actually on a dresser, like the dresser is here and I'm standing. It's really difficult. So this is bad. So let me kind of break down what happened, because when we originally saw this, all we knew is he tried to run over a police officer. What happened? What took place? Well, I knew that it had came from, Georgia State University. I just didn't know what actually happened. So here it goes. So I'm going to break it down for y'all, give y'all my spiel, and then we're going to get into what the documents say, which is going to be a little bit different than what I said, because of course I'm not going to tell you verbatim out of my head, just remembering what I read. So he got into an altercation with somebody, and the person is saying that he came up from behind them or something and hit them. So he got into a fight. So therefore, this was reported to the police. And of course, now he's considered a suspect, right? Because they're looking for him. Well, y'all, this is what happened, because I always wonder what happened. Like, how does somebody just try to run over the police? You got to give me the backstory. And I know some of y'all was like, what really happened? Well, this is what happened. He got into an altercation with somebody else. The police obviously now are involved. Y'all, this is where it gets real ugly, because I was one of the people like, look, hopefully this is going to be over with. Hopefully they'll let him go. But this is really bad, y'all. So let me kind of, so the police in their normal, duty, they're going to apprehend you, try to talk to you to figure out what actually happened, because y'all know the police job, if they're being nice, good police, is to gather information, right? So it seems that the police is trying to gather information from him when he jumped into his vehicle and attempted to leave. Okay. So this is where it gets into the situation where the officer is saying, this boy could have ran me over, because the officer said he put his hand up in front of the car and told him to stop. The boy didn't stop. The officer said he had to pull his pow pow out. Y'all know what the pow pow is, and aim it at him, y'all, in order for him to stop. Y'all, this is really, really bad. Like, I thought that it was some mistake. Maybe, he was leaving and the police or something. I'm just hoping for the worst, because no parent wants to see their child in jail. Like, it just cringes to even have to think about that. Like I said, I was yesterday, saw some boys, getting arrested. It looked crazy to me because I saw two boys sitting on the ground. I did see a liquor bottle right there. And I was like, what's the liquor? Where is that? So I said, okay, maybe somebody just left it there. But then I see the officer twisting the boy. So I'm like, look, I'm going to stop, because he may think I'm the family. Maybe if he's trying to do something to him, he'll stop. So I stopped. I said, I'm going to park my car, because as a citizen, I can watch, right? So I approached and I said, hey, I was just wondering what's going on. And right away he says, well, who are you? And I was like, okay, I don't really know these people, but I don't have to know them. I said, I'm a citizen. And he says, oh. And so the boy went to tell me that the police had illegally searched their things. And so the police went to tell me, well, he had liquor. I told him to put it down, which is making sense, because remember I said I saw liquor on the curb. And then he said, obviously when you're under arrest, or they say you under arrest, you can't take your items with you. They start to collect your stuff because you can't take it with you. The police said, when I finally got his bag away, because I seen the boy sitting on the ground with another boy, but the other boy seemed like he was struggling trying to get away. And I'm just like, what is going on? So that's when I stopped, because I didn't know if they were trying to harm him. I don't know what's going on. So I stopped, because I'm like, look, I'm a witness here. Now, look, don't be doing nothing crazy, okay? Find out the boy had a pow pow in his book bag. And I'm just like, oh my God. But anywho, back to the story. So let me start reading it, y'all. So the reason that he is charged with battery is because it has to do with that other individual. Remember, I said that the report stated that he actually hit somebody, and that is where the battery, remember, it was two charges. It was the battery and it was the charge for the police. So let me kind of get to, give me a second, y'all. Let me kind of get to it. I don't like how these reports look. It just looks so crazy. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it here. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, give me a second. Okay. So this is what happened, guys. It says Ryan Panazon. Oh my gosh. We're just going to call him Ryan. Okay. Ryan, who on oath says that he, to the best of his knowledge and belief, that Damon Christian Kimes, and it gives the date between 2/23 of 2023. It gives the time. So let me just stop here. What happened is this actually happened, and they issued an arrest, and he was arrested. So I don't believe he was actually arrested at the school, and I'm going to say that based on the information that I received. So this is where it gets into the assault. Yep. Okay. So it says that it gives the time, it gives the street. It says law enforcement officer. It talks about him being engaged in his official duty. He said that the accused did knowingly assault. This is really odd, because in this report it says that he did assault, and it gives this officer's name, and then it gives someone else's. It gives a few names, and it says of the Georgia State Police Department, a law enforcement officer in the lawful discharge of officers while he was on his official duties. Okay, so I get it. So this one is basically saying that he got into his vehicle and he was driving the vehicle toward him. Okay, now this is where it gets weird. He says that, oh, okay, so in this one, he's talking about the actual driving of the vehicle. I actually thought this was the other one. So this is what it says, y'all, with regards to probable cause. It says when Georgia State University police officers spotted the vehicle, the suspect reportedly entered into, remember I said that part of the report says that he struck somebody, and I thought this was it, but this is the other part. So he is now considered a suspect because they saying he committed a crime. He done hit somebody over the head, child. Okay. So it says that he, so this is where it gets into the charge with the officer. So now they are looking for him. Remember, now he done struck somebody upside the head or hit somebody. So now they are looking for him. Now it says that when Georgia State University police officers spotted the vehicle, the suspect reportedly entered into. So they spotted him, right? He done hit somebody, he done did whatever, and he's trying to get away. Okay, it says the officer stepped into the street in front of the vehicle and attempted to use hand signals and verbal commands to the vehicle. Now, let me give you guys an example. I was just out, and there's a lot of people out. They walking in front of your car. They put up their hand to let you know, I'm walking in front of your car. The officer is saying he put up his hand. He signaled for you to stop. You see me, okay? The officer said the vehicle did not stop until officers pointed weapons at the vehicle. Y'all know what they pointed. They didn't point that thing that they have on their waist. Y'all know what they pointed. Ooh, this is not, I mean, this is just too bad. This is really bad. So he got into it with somebody else. He was trying to flee, or he was going to leave. I mean, who hits somebody and stays around for the police? So he was going to be gone. And it looks like that didn't happen. Okay. Now, with regard to this other one, let me just get into the, I don't like how they do their reports because it's so old, and I don't understand where this is so a mess. Okay. Okay. So let's get into what they're saying that he, put his hands on somebody. Now, this same officer, Ryan, who on oath says that to the best of his knowledge and ability, that Damonkimes, and he gives the dates. Okay. He said that he did commit the offenses of battery misdemeanor in that said accused, and he did intentionally cause physical harm to Christian Sutton. I don't know who Christian Sutton is. Now it says by walking up and striking Sutton with a closed fist and then placing Sutton in a chokehold from behind. I don't know who Sutton is, but this is where it started. He hit this boy, choked him, put him in a chokehold, and they call the police. Now the police is looking for your ass. That's what happened. So let's see what happened. So yeah, so they have witnesses. It says eyewitnesses stated the accused walked up to the victim and sucker punched him from behind repeatedly before placing the victim in a chokehold and holding him for a prolonged time until bystanders broke up the fight. The victim has bloody scratches to his left elbow, right cheek, and right neck. So that's where it started, y'all. And here's the documents. I mean, I don't mind y'all sharing it, you content creators. That's fine. I'm not like that. I mean, here it is. I'm not going to read it from here because it's very difficult. So here are the documents. Some of them are blank. And I may do a live where I kind of like go over them all. It's pretty much everything I just said. Here's the arrest document from that Georgia State University. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's it. So it makes a lot of sense. Again, I was trying to figure out at what point do you think that you gonna run over the popo? So in this situation, he had gotten into a fight with some other dude, and it looked like he was whooping his ass. That's what it looked like because the bystanders broke it up. Yeah, the bystanders broke it up, but the reason that he got charged with that is simply because when the police told him to stop, the boy didn't stop. The popo had to pull out the pow to get him to stop. So I'm just like wondering, like, in what world, unless you're blind, the police tell you to stop and you keep going? Like, I'm not understanding that. I mean, is he going to say he didn't see him? I don't know. Hopefully that works, because now that I'm reading this, it is serious, because whenever the police say you did something, even if it's a lie, it's serious, right? Because they the police. But this police officer has a camera. Remember, he was indicted. So he was indicted simply because he has a camera. The camera can see you as an officer putting your hand out, and at some point you ain't stopping. I don't know how long you need to have his hand out for you to realize that it's a hand and you need to stop. I don't even know. I don't know, y'all. This is, like I said, this is bad to the point where the man had to pull out his pow pow to get you to stop. So when you saw that pow pow, you stopped. So it would maybe indicate that if you saw that pow pow, you also saw me, because I'm the one that was holding it. Whew, not good, not good, not good, not good. So that's it. That's all, y'all. It started with him getting into a fight with somebody else. The police were called, and it looks like he wanted to just get away, which is kind of crazy because they never stated in here, and I'll go back over it a little bit later, if he actually attended the school. And I don't know if they need to, but I would imagine maybe he does, just because the people who actually try to break the fight up, they were witnesses. In order for them to be a witness, obviously they had to have saw it. But just based on this report, it seems like they may be familiar with him a little bit. Yeah, and it is bad. And this case has been indicted by, the grand jury. Of course, Dr. Heavenly or Dr. Hell, liar, devil, the demon, what should we call her, went on Carlos King saying that Daddy took care of everything, excuse me, and that this is over. Daddy didn't take care of shit. In fact, Daddy probably need to take his ass back down there and finish what he thought he finished, because this is serious and it is ongoing, and he has been indicted by the grand jury. It didn't get dropped. And now I'm understanding why, because although he didn't get in his car today and say, I'm just going to go run over somebody or police, he probably didn't say that. But when the police stepped in front of your car, you kept going enough that police thought that their life was in danger, to the point that they was going to rock you up out of here. Huh? I don't know. That's it, y'all. That's all. I got the documents here. If you are a member on this platform, YouTube, you may have access to the documents, if depending on what membership you received or which one you got. But if you are on Patreon, you will have access, depending on what your membership is. And I may come on a little bit later, kind of go over it a little bit more, but that's pretty much all I saw. The documents they're a little bit hard to read. Georgia is old fashioned as hell. I didn't realize this. So the documents that's the documents. They're a little bit all over the place. They're not in any kind of order, but you can definitely read this and make sense out of what they're saying. But yeah, guys, that's it. He got into a fight with someone. The police is now pursuing him to, get him to stop the vehicle. And he did not stop, honey. He kept going to the tune that the police had to pull out the pow. And that's it. And this case is still open. It has not been resolved at all. And I really, really hope the best for this young man, because as I told you all in the last video, this case can go up to 20 years. I mean, I looked it up. It says from 5 to 20 years. So I don't know if this guy has, well, I do know, I've been told that, but it seems like there may be some, some other issues going on, and maybe he can get those resolved, and possibly maybe they can, work these charges out, because this is very serious. It's very serious, y'all. So